Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, this is the Blade Collector, and this is the honshu, boshin, Viking or seax. Do with that what you will. Let's get on with the review. Now, right off the bat, presentation with a full leather sheath. I am not sure if this is bonded leather, but I know it's reinforced. The main difference is bonded leather usually laminated individual pieces of leather. Not that great. Top grain leather, better. And full grain leather, which, honshu, please. I know it's more expensive, but I'd be willing to pay for it. Nonetheless, though, it does have a nice smell. And, more importantly, it houses this beauty. Now, steel is 7CR13 stainless steel. And to most blade reviewers, that is more than a little bit on the iffy side. But when you think about a softer steel, such as 7CR, it's actually really excellent for tough jobs. Now, I'm not going to say it's an edge retention champ. Far from it. But versus having a blade snapping in half, I understand the choices made here. However, I do want to get my hands on the D2 version that they sold. Oh, before I forget. Before I continue with this review, please go see The Adventurer's Blade. He's actually the main reason why I got interested. Well, that's not even it. He inspired me to do a review like this because I see this guy going out into the middle of the woods. I see him take some very beautiful and sharp swords and some that are tactical and downright grungy, and he beats the living crap out of them. What more do I need to say? He actually uses his stuff, and he gives you the most honest review he can. So, go see The Adventurer's Blade. He is the main reason why I got interested in this. And I heard he's going to be doing a review on the D2 version, so go see that whenever he posts it. Now, let's get back to review. Now, like I said before, it is not an edge retention champ. Is it tough? Oh, definitely. But will you have to do a little edge maintenance more often? Yeah. But versus, as I said, a blade snapping in half? Yeah, I'd much rather have to sharpen a blade a couple times versus have to buy another one. You know, kind of me. But this actually came in around $79 for the 7CR13 version, and I do believe, check the website, budk.com, for details, but I do believe that the D2 version comes in around $139. Don't quote me. Check the website, should be on there. But it also has an injection molded Tpr handle, which in hand feels really nice. It's got a little bit of bite to my bare hands, but nothing too uncomfortable. It's got a nice stainless steel guard here. The edges are a little sharp, but again, if you're swinging, you're not worried about how little things bother your hands. You're got to be worried about whether or not it'll do the job right. And from test swings I've taken outside on green wood, twigs, smaller than my finger, because I don't want to break this thing. It is, from those tests, it is a champ. I'm not going to say, because I haven't done extensive testing, I'm not going to say that it is end all be all, because let's face it, that it'll be a long time, if ever, that happens. However, if that day ever comes, sign me up. Where do I go? But 7CR stainless, very good at corrosion resistance as well. Has a nice lanyard tube here, full tank construction, and it looks like it uses Torx bits. However, if I had to venture a guess, these are likely to strip from the amount of glue they might be using. I'm not going to take this apart for this review, so I do apologize. But overall, the balance is a little forward heavy, which is great for chops. But going in for swings, when you're trying to wind up for the swing, I notice that there's a lot of tension along my forearm here. And I'm not really used to swinging a sword like that, so that could be more anything than that. But also could just be form because, well, I'm not really a guy who uses swords that often, but nonetheless, I can appreciate the beauty of this. It's shiny, all blacked out, minus little bits of stainless steel hardware, nice leather sheath, and a reasonable price. I would see the Adventurer's Blade for a more comprehensive review, but overall, I like it. I mean, you can actually see a couple of scratches from where I had been testing it, but other than that, it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, these, I don't quite understand the purpose. I mean, it's not really weight reduction. The weight is all still there. And that's not a bad thing, because, like I said, it's a really good chopping tool. But it could just be an aesthetic choice. However, I wish they could have taken advantage of this fuller going along the top spine here. Make it a little weight reduction. Just a little bit. To get the balance right here at the guard. Honestly, if the weight were right there, time for recovery would be excellent. Like, you could go swing this way and just as quickly swing the other way because there's not that much weight you have to accelerate. Now, I'm not saying that it is that heavy as is. It's actually fairly light. It's around 2 pounds. Not bad at all. But with how tip heavy it is, man, I am making it sound like extremes, aren't I? My apologies. But anyway, with the weight more towards the tip, it makes it just slightly more difficult on recovery when you're in the middle of a swing, which causes that tension in the forearm here I was talking about. And that's not bad, but if you're not used to it, like me, it gets a little uncomfortable. However, that could be taken care of with ibuprofen, rest, and practice. And yet, I still love this thing. I still use it. In fact, I just cleared a bunch of brush in the back the other day when I was initially testing this. It was sharp right out of the box, but I do worry about this tip a little bit. Just because it is a softer steel. I'm worried it'll bend or so on and so forth. But anyway, I did have to touch up the edge because it did take a little bit of rolling. And you can actually see where I had to adjust the grind. That little bit of extra polish along the edge. Now, it still has the original grind line, so it still has mostly a factory edge. But I'm not going to call it a factory edge, I'm going to call it a touched up edge. In which case, after that touch up, it actually clears through brush like nothing. Although, I did notice one other thing. When testing, I noticed that because it is low tip heavy, that whenever I went for swings, this tended to hit first. It might have just been my blade alignment. I'll say that right now. But because of the weight is tip heavy, I wanted to naturally let the tip do the work. Even though I want to be able to use the full length of the blade for whatever I'm going to chop. And that's a lot of blade length. I've been using around this edge here because of how my natural motion wants to make this go. However, I could correct that with practice, rest, and ibuprofen. I gotta have a little humor. I'm sorry. But it's still very comfortable. I don't know what it is. It's so confusing to me. It's got a lot of good qualities to it. It is absolutely worth the $79 I put into this. It is not bad at all. And yet, the reputation for Bud K kind of lingers in the back of my brain, like, it's gonna break. But at the same time, it is built solid. And I do understand the choices made behind the design on this. The steel choice, the use of TPR versus something like wood. However, with a pack of wood handle, that might be interesting one day. But I think overall it is just the aesthetic of tactical meeting Viking warrior. And it's not something that you will just hang on your wall and it will have absolutely no use. You can use this. You can use it like a machete. You can sharpen it easily. It has maximum rust resistance from 7CR. And with a leather sheath, if you did decide to hang it on your wall, it is not out of place. It is stylish, it's sleek. Overall, there is not much wrong with this. It's just the former reputation of Bud K. Yeah, I think that did a lot for me in terms of, should I buy this? But then I got a hold of it and I was like, okay, understand this. That's one of the beauty of buying things like this. You will look at something cool, and a lot of the time, especially from my experience personally, you will hold it and it's be like, I don't want to use this. Because you realize immediately, it's a wall piece. You are not going to take it out into the woods. You are not going to be hacking down trees. This? No, I'm not going to be hacking down trees with it. Brush, small twigs, leaves. That is it. Now I keep picking that up and setting it down. I'm still new to this. But it's so... It has a tactile feel. A really nice, comfortable feel. It feels like an extension of my arm. Well, minus the points that I said earlier. Nonetheless, though, with practice, I could see myself using that as a standard machete. Again, I'm not going to be cutting down trees, but limbs and brush, if I got something to sharpen it if it chips and rolls, that's fine. I will take that out and I will use it, beat the living crap out of it, sharpen it, go for more. I love this thing. But, as I said, see the Adventurer's Blade when he makes his review on the D2 version. Now, this has been Blade Collector, and I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your night. Bye!